今日の曜日、日曜日。Today is October 19th, 2025. Here in Pacifica, California. I just got back from Knicks. Good times, man. Sunday's Knicks for me. And heading back to Japan on Friday. Before I do that, it's the first time I'm actually scooping up these babies from the little tub that I was keeping them in, and just observing them from the side. These came from SNR Medaka USA. Got them. So Wednesday was a week, right? So Wednesday, Thursday. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days in. After this, I'll kind of show all you Medaka, like what I've been doing to trying to acclimate them. Man, we had heavy rain for like 4 days, and I got probably 4 inches of rain that was going in the tub. So I kind of delayed the whole process of me moving them into their larger tubs, and I'll try to explain. These are the wakasagis. They resemble the wakasagi fish. And that's how they got their names. Let me see if I could zoom in 4 times and see if it's still going to focus. Again, they're in a whiteback viewing case, so it's really hard to see the color. But they have the Taigaiko, which is like bluish from the top. And then right underneath there, unlike the Miyuki, it's like black. And it'll be more prominent when they're in a black container. But when you put them in these lighter white background, their colors really brighten up. So that's why they're kind of looking like they're silver. They look nothing special in a way, but they are. But I'm pretty excited that I'm finally able to view these babies from the side. These are the midnight frill Taigaiko. I had the Lame. Lame has white fins. These have the long fins. That's the difference between aside from the looks, the Lame versus the Taigaiko, which is the outer light. Their tails are different. Their fins. So you can see this one, the frills really starting to develop. It's male. So I got 5 of these. And then I got 2, 4, 6. I think I got 8 of these babies over here. They're all surviving. So I counted them when I got them, and they're doing well. This whole time I've been feeding. I know I explained last time. I've been feeding these. Parakuria has tons of, or not tons, but about 7 different herbs that basically helps them ease in with their digestive system and all that. This one's actually high in protein and fat. It's 50% protein, which is here, and that's 0.9% of fat. What that means is they use up a lot of energy to try to consume those nutrients into their body because they don't have a stomach, right? What goes in comes out within 2 hours, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. So in the morning when it's cold, since it is cold, it's low 50s over here in Pacifica, California. I feed them this instead in the morning. Basically, this is a Hikari maintenance. And as you could see, it's 30% of protein, 7% of that is fat right there. So easier for them to digest. Again, less protein. You want high protein when you want them to grow, but only when it's warm enough where they could actually break down everything from their bellies in order for them to thrive. Again, when it's too cold and when you give them high protein, high fat, it takes that much energy for them to actually process into energy. And when it's cold, they can't do that. So a lot of them end up bloating, which you don't want, and you're actually harming them. So really look into the protein, look into the fat content. Let me just see if It's almost 5, so I know the light is not good. Here's what it looks like from the top. Wakasagi. Again, it's like the blue sheen Taigaiko, and then underneath on the top you see it's really dark, right? Unlike the Miyuki. So these babies are like growing on me, and hopefully next season I will be successful enough to produce more of these offsprings. This is 4 times zoom. They're all swimming really well, strong. See, I really didn't want to fill up the water because these babies jump. They're really energetic. And these babies over here, they're a lot more calm. Again, so here's a Taigaiko. I used to have the lame. Lame is when you see like more of the guanin. Guanin is what makes the sparkle. Scattered like stars. These, as they grow, they should all connect ideally from the top of the head all the way down to the base of the tail. And then you'll see the tips of the fins majestically like in this bluish turquoise look. So, and they should be, regardless, these babies, Brachdaya orochibe, so regardless of the color of the container, they should stay black. So I could put these babies in a white container and they should look, they will stay dark. They won't lighten up. Like for me, that's like, I love these babies just for those characteristics and all that. So let me move these babies back to where I just scooped them up for the first time. And they're all looking good. So they're going to go. They're going to spend winter out here. It's called Fuyugoshi. Their colors, their pigments should tighten up. And again, I think there was like a comment, and I was like, well, when you think about it, like wintertime, it's darker, right? Because there's less sun. The daylight is shorter. So they kind of stay near the bottom because it's cold. They're trying to save energy, right? So they're not hibernating, but they're just staying still. That's what they do. They don't hibernate per se. And during the winter, so there's less light, it's darker, and they absorb all the light information from through their eyes. And it's kind of like if you could look at all the color pigments on their bodies as the pupil, right? So when it's really dark, the pupil gets dilated, right? Like humans. And when it's bright, your pupil contracts. It gets really small because it's just too bright. Your pupils do that naturally for mammals. So if you could look at their color, their pigment, pigments are the ones that give them the color. There's yellow, white, black, and nijishiki soho. That's what gives them the lame look, the glitter. And it's a combination of those colors that are producing these majestic colors. And so during the winter, less light, like the pupil, it closes up. So their color pigmentations close up. And when they close up, it gets super concentrated. The gray turns black, right? It gets concentrated. And all the colors as well. So once they go through the winter time and spring comes, when you look at them, you see a lot of their colors really exaggerated. And because their pigments, they never develop more color pigments. It's the same amount of color pigments that they have. But because the body size is growing in proportion of their color pigments, even if they get larger, because they are growing in a gradual pace, it tends to keep the color really strong, the color of the pigment that they have, versus when you have Medakas growing way too fast, their body and their pigments cannot keep up with the body growth. So the pigments are stretching to the max. And that's when you have, like, when you create like summer type conditions through a heater or a greenhouse, or indoors with a heater, and you're just feeding them 12 months out of the year without them letting them rest to develop. So I know I kept Medakas indoors so I could enjoy them and study them during the winter times indoors. But again, it gets tricky with these new designer brands. They were developed indoors in controlled climates. So even though these are the babies of those predecessors, like genetically they're not as strong, so they're not capable to deal with colder temps or adapt to temperature fluctuations. Temperature fluctuation, when I say that, it means like at nighttime it's cold, daytime it goes up, and it's just a difference in temperature. So again, hopefully these babies, I don't know, or I know that they were developed indoors, but we'll see. The goal is to try to get them to adapt to Pacific temperature, climate, outdoors, and collect all the strong babies and just try to get their genetics to be able to survive outdoors and still be beautiful, and to pass on that strong strength. And I guess for me, that's the most important thing. They could look beautiful, but if they're weak, yeah. But if you could get them strong and you selectively breed the ones that look like what they're supposed to look like lineage-wise, that carries all their trait, that's ideal. That's the goal. So, like, there's a lot of breeders that you could get the same lineages from, or there's going to be more and more. There's not a lot right now in the U.S., but there's going to be more and more. But again, just remember, they're not all the same. You want to get the ones that are capable of living in an environment that you want them to be in, right? So if your whole goal is to keep them indoors, it's fine. But if you actually want to enjoy them like outdoors, you want to get it from a breeder. You want to ask the breeder, like, how are you keeping these babies? Like, in how many generations have you had them in that condition? So you know that the DNA to be able to survive under temperature fluctuations and in the cold and in the rain is kind of there, because the survival of the fittest, the strong ones are going to survive regardless, right? So, okay, let me just take a quick sip and let me just turn this camera back. Let me get these babies back in their little environment. And oh boy. So let's start from the Midnight Frill Taigaikos. All right, so this is the original 11-liter MD box that I've been keeping them in. After about a week, I was going to let them loose, Free Willy style, into this 27. But it rained pretty hard for like 3.5 days, so there was a lot of rainwater going in here. The water parameters were changing because of the rain, so I didn't want to move them back and forth. So all I've been doing is like removing half of the water from here, probably every 3 days, and just dumping this mother water in here. So this yesterday, I emptied all the water from the 27. I put new water, brand spanking new, dechlorinate. Put the plants. I have the ram's horns in there, and I've been doing 50% water change from here to here. I did that about 4 times. So tomorrow morning, when the water temperature is the same, Like in these, the thing is like this thing is awesome. It tells you that like the highest and it's 25.1 Celsius was the high. The lowest has been 12.1. Right now it's 9.5. I mean 19.5 degrees Celsius. And the temperature here and the temperature here is different, right? Smaller black container with sun. It's warmer than this. So the best time to transfer them is in the morning when the temperature is pretty much the same. So tomorrow before I go to work, I'm just going to release these babies, the 5 midnight frills, in here where they are going to live throughout the winter. And then these babies over here, again, I had these 2 11-liter NV boxes in there. But I cleared out this tub, same thing, 27 gallon. This one's about, the 11 is probably less than 3 gallons. Same thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to release these babies. Tomorrow morning, release them in here. And this is where they're going to spend the winter. And hopefully they do well. So far, they're doing fantastic. So I'm really glad. Again, it's my first time ordering, I guess, online. SNR Medaka USA. They'll answer all the questions that you want. Like, it was like, where are they from? They're like, they were imported from Korea, but they came from Japan to Korea, Korea to North Carolina. So that's the route. Sorry, Japan to South Korea, South Korea to North Carolina. Okay. All right, so again, more water volume means less temperature fluctuation. This is the environment that these babies are going to live in. So, all right, I did all the water changes and moving around a whole bunch of the metal rifts and the OG retired babies over there. So when I go to Japan, all that has to be done. It's just a little feeding, which my other half is going to be doing that for me while I'm gone for exactly Friday to Friday. So I'll be back Halloween midday, and hopefully, oh yeah, it'll be busy. It'll be a busy week over there. But yeah, domo arigato. And hopefully I could. I'm not really going to have time, but hopefully I could figure something out so I could bring something back. That may be that's something new. To something new, a product that's new. That's something that's new in the U.S. I guess that's what I'm trying to do. Just introducing stuff that is not something that you could readily get here in the USA. So, all right. Domo arigato. We'll do it again next time. Domo arigato to all you Medaka Head members that joined. You can now become a Medaka Head member using your iOS device. Prior to 2 weeks ago, you couldn't. You had to go to you had to go through the computer, the browser, and all that stuff. And a lot of people don't use computers anymore. So they finally updated the app where people can become members using our. I think it's only iOS. I don't know if it works on the Android yet, but so 2 tiers and any tier, it's all good. But it all goes to my beer fund. So domo arigato again for the support, and hopefully I could bring some type of information while I ramble, while I'm enjoying a nice quick brewski, a cold brewski, and just go through this enjoyable journey. So, all right, so we'll be back in a little bit. So, happy Medakatsu, Medaka Metal Heads. All right, Medaka Metal out. Oh yeah, it's so good.